name is Megan. We can go ahead and begin. If you have any yoga props, you can go ahead and grab those. That might include a yoga strap, a yoga block, or even pillows, since we are in the comfort of our homes. Lovely. So as we practice this evening, a couple things to remember. Having a playful attitude always makes it a little bit more enjoyable, and if anything feels painful, you are the boss of your practice, so you're always allowed to come out of a pose, modify, whatever feels good for you. So we can start in a comfortable seated position. You always have the option to either start by maybe laying down on your back. We're going to just begin the class with dialing into our breath. So I'm going to choose to sit with my legs crossed, spine lengthening up towards the ceiling, nice and tall, and gently closing the eyes down. Before we get into movements and poses, it's always nice to kind of just check in with ourselves and with your body, see how you're doing on this lovely, beautiful Monday, and just become aware, take notice of how things are feeling. And a nice breathing technique is taking a long breath in through your nose. So inhaling through the nose for a count of 4. Holding for a count of 4. And long, slow exhale out through the mouth for a count of 6. And then keeping with that and maybe adjusting the seconds for holding the breath. And so this breathing technique is really helpful. It can help kind of ignite the parasympathetic nervous system. So it brings us into that state of rest and digest, and hopefully shifting our way out of the fight or flight kind of busy mind. And as you're sitting up nice and tall, just gently tucking your chin so the back of your neck is lengthening out. The muscles of your face, gentle and relaxed. Notice the space between your shoulders and your ears. So shoulders are melting down your back. Back of the neck is nice and long. And you're sitting up tall. Stay gentle through your elbows and gentle through your fingertips. So your hands are maybe resting on your knees, either palm face down or even palm face up. Yoga is a great way to practice making choices, making decisions, listening to your body, listening to what feels good. Lovely. So let's do the nice breath in and breath out one more time, and then we will begin. Gently blink your eyes open, and if you opted to lay down, go ahead and rise up to a seated position. Shoulders melting down the back. We'll take a nice big inhale and reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Spread your fingertips so you're engaging through your arms, and now as your arms reach up overhead, you've got length here in this side body. So maybe you gaze up if that feels okay on the neck. You're going to interlace your fingertips, and on that exhale, press your arms and hands up towards the ceiling. That stretch feels really good on the fingertips for me. Take another breath in, and on that exhale, start to round in your spine, tuck your chin, arms stay straight, but now the palms are pressing straight ahead. And then again on the inhale, sit up nice and tall, palms press up overhead. Exhale, let your breath go round in your spine. So this is a bit of some seated cat-cow here. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe you gaze up, and then exhale, round in your spine, tuck your chin. Maybe close the eyes. Feel the shoulders and arms stretching. out and warming up. One more time, inhale and press up, maybe a wiggle from side to side. And now as you exhale, start to bend through your elbows. Bring your hands to the base of your skull. So now we're still feeling an opening through our shoulders and our pec area as well. And so this is a great stretch for anyone who may be doing lots of driving, lots of computer and desk work. Helps open up the front of the body. So for a deeper stretch, continue opening up your elbows to the space behind you. And when you do that, maybe starting to feel a deeper stretch through that pec area. And maybe you start lifting your chin up towards the ceiling, so that can be a little bit of a nice opening through the front of the throat and neck. And as you exhale, just let your grip come apart and your hands drop down towards the mat. Place your right hand down on the mat. Inhale, reach and lengthen your left arm up. So before we start reaching over towards the right, really think about the length that you're creating. So from your sitting bone, the hips, side body, ribs, armpit area, and up through your arm and up through your fingertips. So another breath in as you reach. Then on your exhale, start to reach over towards your right. And as you reach, stay engaged through your fingertips. And notice where your gaze is, so you can bring it up towards the ceiling, straight ahead, or down at the floor. For a deeper stretch, start to drop down onto your right forearm. And on your next exhale, float your way back up through center, back to neutral. So just sitting up nice and tall, roll your shoulders down your back. Place your left hand on the floor. Inhale and reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. So same cues here. Before we go into the reach, let's bring in some length and really make sure we're engaged. So that right sitting bone, right hip, the ribs, axillary armpit area, really engaging, reaching up through the arm. So you're reaching through the fingertips. Spread your fingertips nice and wide. Big breath in. And then on your exhale, start to reach towards your left. Maybe going a bit slowly at first, seeing how this side is feeling. And then you choose deeper stretch. You drop down onto your left forearm. And choose your gaze. On your next exhale, come back up through center. Let's do that again to the other side. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, reach over towards your right. And then start to drop your upper body over your right knee. Back of the neck is nice and long, so tuck your chin a bit. And then back up through center on your exhale. And to the other side, and inhale to bring in your length. Exhale, reach over towards your left. On your next exhale, start to fold your upper body over your left leg and knee. Continue reaching with your right hand and your right fingertips. And exhale, back up through center. Gently go ahead and reach for your right leg with your hands. So your left hand can come to the bottom of your right foot, and your right knee right hand just resting on your right knee. We're going to warm up the hips, so rocking your right leg from side to side, if that feels okay. And to start to feel a stretch in your glute area, you can wrap your arms around your shin. See if you can work on keeping the chest and sternum lifted. If you notice yourself kind of rounding in the shoulders, maybe this is too tight, and you can go back to gripping with your hands. So see how they feel. So I'm squeezing my right shin into my chest and feeling a stretch through the right glute area. And from here, still just rocking gently from side to side. Go ahead and kick your left leg out nice and long. So left toes face up towards the ceiling. Inhale, take a breath in, lengthen, sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, drop your right foot over the left leg. Sole of your right foot is on the ground, right knee is still bent. Go ahead and gently press your right hand just on the floor behind you. We'll come into a spinal twist. Inhale, reach your left arm up nice and high. And then exhale, hook your left elbow to your right knee. And start to twist as you exhale. So feeling that rotation in the spine. You control your gaze, so maybe you can continue walking it over your right shoulder. Notice how you start to get a bit more of a twist as you gaze behind you. Come back through center. We'll go to the other side. So just drop your left hand gently down on the floor. Bring your right arm kind of up and over this right leg and just start to twist over towards the left. Working on letting the heart stay open, spine staying straight, and feeling a nice stretch. Coming back through center, we'll come into a tree pose. Seated tree pose, so your right leg stays bent, and we're going to reach for our left foot. So use that inhale to reach and lengthen up. And as you exhale, start to fold over your left leg. Notice if you move really fast here and if things feel forced or kind of like a jerky motion. And see if you can invite just a sense of maybe more ease into the practice and into the movements. It's like each small movement has an intention and a purpose. If your hands can come to your left foot, that's always an option. If that's not an option for you, this is a good spot for a yoga strap. So you'd have the yoga strap in either hand and you'd be wrapping it around the foot. Flexing your left foot up towards the ceiling, you can feel a bit of a deeper stretch through the hamstring and calf. And gently rise up. We'll switch sides here. So start to reach for your left leg. So your hands are at the knee and the sole of the foot. Or you're wrapping your arms around your shin for that deeper stretch. And just going from side to side. Stay active through the core here. It can kind of help the upper body stay lifted. So if I let go in my core, I slouch a bit and I'm less lifted. So using the core can help the spine stay lifted and straight. Shoulders melting down the back. Gently extend out your right leg. Nice big inhale, squeeze your left leg in towards your chest. As you exhale, drop your left foot up and over that right leg. Gently place your left hand down on the floor. We'll come into our spinal twist. So inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Bring in that length, reach through the fingertips. And on the exhale, bringing your right elbow to the left knee. And here, we're hugging our belly button in towards your spine. Pressing just a little bit into this left hand to get a nice rotation. Stay for another breath. And as you exhale, come back through center and just keep floating over to the other side. Nice little counter stretch here. So now the right hand is on the floor, finger pads gently pressing into it as you twist and look over your right shoulder. Coming back towards center and finding your seated tree pose. So your left leg is bent with the sole of the foot maybe up against somewhere along your thigh or even down on your calf, depending how your knees are. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, reach for your right foot. And we can work on keeping the heart open, avoiding the shoulders from kind of just rounding and hunching here. So using a bit of your core, flexing your right foot towards your face. If you can grab that foot with your hand, maybe kind of sort of pull on the toes and feel a bit of a deeper stretch through your right calf. And then sitting back up again. Bring that right leg in, so we'll sit cross-legged. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. See how that feels, so stretching and lengthening out the muscles of the neck, the upper trapezius muscle. And then maybe dropping chin towards chest. And then quickly over to the left side, left ear, left shoulder. And then lifting back up. All right, roll those shoulders out just for a moment. And then we can find our way into your child's pose. So we'll come onto all fours and then walk our knees out towards the edges of your mat, flip onto the tops of your feet. And settle your hips back towards your heels. Reach your arms out in front of you. And even in your child's pose, fingertips spread nice and wide. Index fingers are at 12 o'clock. Pressing into the finger pads, engaging through the arms, and let your forehead come into contact with either the ground or a yoga block. And as we work through our child's pose, we want to invite length into the spine, into the arms. And so by doing that, we take a nice big inhale. On your exhale, gently pressing into the finger pads, engaging through the arms. See if your hips can press any closer towards your heels. If this feels uncomfortable on the shoulders, the arms can actually always reach back behind you. So the arms will be back by your sides. That is always an option as well. Whatever your child's pose might look like, let's stay for 3 more breaths. Lovely. Press your way up to a tabletop position. So coming onto all fours, bringing your knees in a bit closer towards one another. So your knees are just at hips width distance, and your hands are at shoulder width distance. And the hands still, fingertips spread nice and wide. Stay easy through your elbows. Gentle circles here if that feels good. Keeping the gaze right between the 2 hands so the back of your neck stays long and protected. And we're going to actually drop down onto our right arm and shoulder. We're sliding your right arm under the left. So keeping the hips lifted. And feel free to adjust your left arm as needed. So maybe reaching it a bit closer up towards the front of your mat or lifting an elbow up, however it feels comfortable. And then we'll transition our way out of this. So pressing into that left hand and coming back up to your tabletop. And go to the other side. So sliding your left arm underneath your right, and you've got left palm face up towards the ceiling, dropping down onto your left shoulder and arm. And then from here, pressing your way back up, tabletop position. We'll come into a quick calf stretch. So from tabletop, engage your core here and press the mat away from you. Send your right leg back behind you. Flex your right toes down towards the ground. Engage the core. Press into the mat with the hands so you engage your arms. And drop your right toes towards the back of your mat. So your left knee is still on the floor. Your right toes are on the ground, but your right leg is straight. Press into both hands. And work your right heel down towards the ground. That will give you a nice stretch. And then from here, just dropping your right knee back down, so returning to your tabletop. And to the other side, extending your left leg back behind you. Flex the left foot, so your toes are face down towards the ground. You're really kicking out through the heel. And your heel is in line with your glutes, so we're not all the way up here. We're right in line, and we're using our core and engaging the abdomen. Start to drop your left toes down towards the ground. Working on a straight left leg, pressing into your hands, and working your left heel down towards the ground. Lovely. Returning to your tabletop, so dropping your left knee. If your toes aren't tucked under, go ahead and tuck them under. And let's inch your hands forward, maybe 3 or 4 inches, keeping them shoulder width distance apart. We'll press up into downward facing dog. Engage through the arms, press through your finger pads, lift your hips up. So we can start easy here. So nice bent knees, heels pulling away from the mat, sending your chest back towards your thighs. And maybe pedaling your legs out here, bending one knee and straightening the other. So again, a nice way to stretch and open up the calf muscles and the hamstrings. If this isn't feeling good, you can drop down to your forearms for dolphin pose. So depending how your shoulders are, sometimes dolphin pose might not feel that much better. So another option for that would be kind of a half downward facing dog and a half dolphin. In your downward facing dog, if you'd like to come into a 3-legged dog, just gently start to float your right leg up towards the ceiling. And so in this, you want to continue working your left heel down towards the ground. Chest is still pressing back towards your thighs. And we're just lifting the right heel up and inhale. Exhale, let it go. Lower your right leg back down. Downward facing dog. For a deeper stretch, start straightening through the knees and working your heels down. And then to the other side. So 3-legged dog, lifting that left leg up towards the ceiling. Keep letting the head and neck drop heavy. Keep working your right heel down towards the ground. You continue lifting your left heel, 3-legged dog. Big exhale, let it go. Downward facing dog. Nice inhale, roll out to a high plank. Use your core, stack your shoulders right over your wrists. Option to drop your knees down for support. Let's stay here, back of the neck nice and long. You're pressing the earth away from you. The backs of your legs are engaged and lifting up towards the ceiling. For 3, 2, and 1. Nice big exhale out. Lower down slowly. Squeeze your elbows into your ribs. Flip onto the tops of your feet. Inhale into a Cobra Pose. Elbows stay squeezing in. And we're just gently pressing into the hands here. So we have a nice lift through the heart. For a full upward facing dog, press into the hands. Start to straighten through your arms, glide your hips forward, and lift your heart. Heart is nice and open. Exhaling back, downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in. And big exhale out. From your downward facing dog, right foot steps forward between the two hands. Your right toes are facing directly forward and your right knee is right over your right ankle. You can stay like this, or for a modification, drop your left knee down. So you've got a hand on either side of the foot. We'll come into a twist. So leave your left hand down on the ground. Good spot for a yoga block. Take an inhale, twist and reach your right arm towards the ceiling. So feel the shoulder opening up. For a deeper stretch, start to bend your elbow and bring the back of your hand to your low back. So this is what we call a half bind. Right shoulder's really opening up here. Another breath in. Exhale, let it go. Right hand comes back down towards the mat. Nice big breath in. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Option for our half bind here, gently bending your elbow, bringing the back of your hand to your low back. Exhale, let it go. Dropping your back knee down to the floor if you haven't already. We'll shift back into our runner's stretch. So send your hips towards the back edge of your mat. Straighten through your right leg, flex your right toes towards your face. As the hips pull towards the back of your mat, let the heart and sternum kind of reach forward. Feeling a stretch through your right hamstring. For a deeper stretch, start folding over your right leg. Bend your right knee, bring your right foot to the floor, both hands down on the ground. Going to lift our hips up, step your left foot up and out. So your left foot is angled up at the top left-hand corner of your mat. Kind of bend the knees a little bit. See if you can situate your torso and chest so that it's folding over this right thigh. And once you feel really grounded through the feet, so you're really pressing down through the soles of the feet into the mat, work on straightening through the legs and fold the upper body over the right thigh. Let your head and neck go. And of course, breathe. And from here, step your left foot forward. We'll come into a forward fold at the top of the mat. So the feet are about 5 inches apart maybe. Soften through your knees and fold forward. Let's settle into a squat. So walk your feet out towards the edges of your mat. Bring the toes to about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And then whatever feels good here. So maybe feeling a stretch through your adductors, kind of the inner thighs. If this doesn't feel good on your knees, you can always use a block, propping it up lengthwise and sitting on it. Some nice stretches here is bringing your right hand to the floor a little bit above your right foot and reaching your left arm up towards the ceiling. So again, heart is opening. You can even come into a half bind here so the back of your left hand finds your low back. And then as you exhale, just gently floating, moving, dancing your way over to the other side. So that left hand stays on the floor. Big inhale now, reaching the right arm towards the ceiling. And maybe finding your low back with that right hand, opening up that right shoulder. And exhaling, bring your hands back down and kind of reach them out in front of you. And we're gonna lift up through the hips, start to straighten through the legs, walk your feet in closer towards one another, and start to walk your hands back towards your feet, coming back to a forward fold. From here, come into a halfway lift as you inhale. So coming into a flat back, hands are to the shins. Hips are pressing back behind you, heart is pulling forward, back of your neck is long. Exhale, let it go. 2 more times. Inhale, lift halfway, squeezing your belly button in towards your spine. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, let it go. Bring your hands down to the floor and we will roll on back to our downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in. And big exhale out. Stepping your left foot forward between your 2 hands. Left toes facing directly forward. Left knee right over the ankle. Option to stay like this with your back knee lifted. If you're staying like this, so your right heel is almost stacked over the toes, and the back of your right leg is lifting up towards the ceiling. We'll come into a twist. So gently leaving your right hand down on the floor. Inhale, twist and reach your left arm up. Option for that half bind, bringing it to your low back. Exhale, let it go. Drop your left hand down. Inhale, twist and reach your right arm up. Coming into that half bind if you'd like. The half bind is just a bit more of a challenge. Gives you a bit more of an opening through the shoulders. Exhale, return your right arm back down. Shift into your runner's stretch. Start to straighten through your left leg. Flex your left toes towards your face. Soften through your belly and fold over the left thigh. And again, flexing your left toes towards your face to feel that stretch through the back of the lower leg. Start to bend your left knee, bring your left foot to the floor. Going to lift our hips up, step your back foot up and out. So your right toes are cornered, angled up at the top right-hand corner of your mat. We want to work on folding your body over your left thigh. Really grounding down here. If this doesn't feel good on your knees, bring a soft bend to them. And for a deeper stretch, work on straightening through those knees, folding a bit deeper if you can, all while staying grounded down through the soles of the feet. We're going to step our way forward to a forward fold, stepping that right foot up. Start to bend your knees, walk your feet out towards the edges of your mat, come into a squat. So your squat can involve some movement, or it can involve stillness. So a nice one I like is elbows towards the inner thighs, kind of pressing against the knees. Use your core, spine is lifting up towards the ceiling. Hands come into prayer, gently tucking the chin. Even here, you can actually use your elbows to press against the inner thighs. This will give you a bit of a deeper stretch and opening through your hips, if that feels okay. On your next exhale, bring your hands down towards the floor. Walk them out a bit in front of you. Press into your feet, lift your hips up, start walking your feet in towards one another. And then walking your hands back to meet your feet. Forward fold. Inhale, come into your halfway lift. Breathe out as you fold. Going to rise all the way up, press into your feet, engage through your legs and roll up. Reach your arms up overhead. As you do this, reach through your fingertips, press into your feet, press the hips forward, come into a little bit of a back bend if that feels all right. Bringing your palms together, exhaling, hands to the center of your heart. Gently close your eyes if you'd like. Relax your shoulders. We'll move into Sun Salutation A. So gently release the hands, big inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, start to fold forward. Go slowly and stay soft through your knees. Inhale, lift halfway, heart pulls forward, shoulders pull back. And exhale, fold. 2 more times like that. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands down on the floor, step back to your high plank. Again, modification will be dropping the knees. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower down. So we're flowing through our low plank. Flipping onto the tops of the feet. Inhaling to Cobra Pose or upward facing dog. Stay soft through your elbows, soft through the muscles of the face. Heart opens up. Exhale, back downward facing dog. Nice deep breath in. As you exhale, work your heels down towards the ground. And we'll do that again. So bring your feet up towards your hands. Forward fold for a moment. And now inhale, lift halfway. Let the heart pull forward. Exhale and fold. Inhale, press through your feet, rise and stand up. Big inhale as your arms reach up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands down, high plank. Big exhale, lower all the way down. Keep your core engaged and squeeze your elbows in. Inhale, Cobra Pose or upward facing dog, flipping onto the tops of your feet. Exhale back, this time Child's Pose. Separate the knees a bit and let your hips settle into your heels. Cherish this moment, so let it be a moment to rest, relax, catch your breath, whatever it is that you need. From your Child's Pose, begin to sit up. So leaving your legs as they are, but maybe walking your knees in a bit closer towards one another. So this is Hero's Pose. Spine is lengthening up towards the ceiling, shoulders relax down. For a different sort of stretch through the feet, you can actually roll onto the toes and sit back on the heels. So this gives you a nice stretch through the soles of the feet. And hands are just resting gently maybe on your thighs. Another option would be hands coming to heart center. And letting the spine lengthen up towards the ceiling and just breathing for a moment. And as you exhale, releasing the hands down, we're going to sit onto our bottom and extend our legs out nice and long. We'll come into a seated forward fold. So let the heart stay lifted, flex the toes towards your face, and as you inhale, bring that length in, reach your arms up overhead, palms facing towards one another, and on the exhale, reach for your feet. If you've got your feet, you can kind of pull on the toes or the balls of the feet to get more of a stretch through the legs. Soften a bit through your belly, and a little bit tuck the chin towards the chest. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. Maybe start to feel a stretch through your low back as you fold deeper. And then from here, bringing yourself back up towards sitting. Let's bring the soles of our feet together, knees out nice and wide for a seated butterfly. Same cues here, spine lengthening up towards the ceiling. Option is stay sitting up nice and straight, or on the exhale, starting to work your chest down towards the ground. Elbows can press against your inner thighs to help the hips Open a bit more. And beginning to fold over your feet. What you doing? Taking a full deep breath in. Nice long exhale out, coming back up towards sitting. And let's roll all the way down. So laying down on your back, we'll come into a waterfall. So lifting your feet straight up towards the ceiling. Legs up nice and straight, staying soft through your knees. So just kind of letting it be easy as you let the feet lift up towards the ceiling. Maybe rocking your head from side to side. And then squeezing the knees in towards your chest. Transitioning right into our pigeon pose. So start to bend your left knee and your right knee, but bring your right ankle to your left knee. Going to work on hugging that left leg in towards your chest. So feeling the stretch through your right glute area. Your back and shoulders stay down on the floor. And the gaze can be just straight up at the ceiling. Noticing whatever might feel tight or tense or forced, seeing if you can invite in just a bit of a more sense of ease or playfulness, or allowing yourself to explore the pose, see how it feels for you today. Gently finding your way out of this pose on this side and transitioning to the other side. So bringing your left ankle to your right knee and hugging your right leg in towards your chest. As you exhale, let the shoulders let go and melt. Exhale, finding your way out of this. Squeeze both knees back and towards your chest. We'll come into a spinal twist on either side. Keep hugging your right knee in towards your chest and let your left leg extend nice and long on the floor. Nice inhale, squeeze in, and as you exhale, guide your right leg up and over the left. Again, feeling that nice rotation in the spine, just like how we started. Shoulders stay down on the floor. Gazing either up at the ceiling or to your right hand. And then shift your way back towards center. Maybe squeezing both knees in towards your chest again. Press your low back into the mat. Keep your left knee hugging in and extend through your right leg. So let the right leg lengthen and get down on the mat and the floor. As you exhale, guide your left leg up and over. So you're rolling onto the outer edge of your right leg. Shoulders staying down. And gazing at the ceiling or at your left hand. Lovely. Coming back towards center, squeezing the knees in if you'd like. And then fully relaxing into your Shavasana, so your final resting pose. Maybe the arms and hands, legs and feet just fall nice and wide. Gently close your eyes down. We'll stay here for a moment. So you can either return to your natural rhythm of breath, or if you'd like to focus on inhaling through the nose, holding the breath, and then exhaling slowly out through the mouth, that is an option as well. Softening through the muscles of the face, softening through the jaw and the shoulders. Gently, if you'd like, let your head roll from side to side, so to the right and then to the left. And we're going to find our way up towards comfortable seated position, rocking from front to back. We'll meet in a cross-legged position, sitting up nice and tall. Shoulders rolling down the back. Take a big inhale, reach through your fingertips, arms reach up overhead. Palms come together, exhale, hands to heart center. Staying here for a moment, maybe saying something to yourself that you are grateful for. And then taking a nice full deep breath in. And a nice long breath out. May you invite in peace, love, and joy. Namaste from Goober and I. Thank you so much for joining. Last week will be the last week of classes.